Recently, I have got a lot of comments on how to make nice user interface where we are able to add, edit, delete and view the data from the MySQL table. So I have made a decision to create a 3-part video series where I will show you exactly that. And since this is the first part, in this part I'm going to show you how to design a website in Bootstrap, how to add the data to the MySQL table, and also how to get all the data from that table. So stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Senaid here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So now I'm here at my PHP store. I've created a new project and also I've created a new index.html file. So first thing that we need to do is to include Bootstrap libraries and also jQuery library that we need for this small project. So I will go to the getbootstrap.com, click on the download Bootstrap, and here I'm just going to use those links to include the libraries. Okay, so the CSS library I will paste just before closing head tag, and the JavaScript Bootstrap library I will paste just before closing body tag, like this. And also we will need jQuery library, and I will get the one from the code.jquery.com. So I'll click here on the minify and copy this. Okay, and this need to be pasted just before Bootstrap library. So I will quickly do this. Okay, and here I'm going just to write the basic design for our project. So we will first make a container. It's required by Bootstrap, and inside this container we will have one row, and in this row I will say we will have one column MD8, and I will set an offset to the 2, and this should make as a result to position everything in the center of the screen. And that's it. So inside here we will have one button. So I will say input type button. I will say class will be button success, value will be add new. And for now that's it. Later we will make the functionality. Let's see what we have. Okay, so here we go. So let's say for our container I will set style margin top 30 pixels. Let's say we will have one h2 with the name MySQL Table Manager, and let's say this button I will position to the right of the screen. And let's see. So here we go. After that we are going to have one table where we will display all the data. So I will say table, class table, I will make hover, and table border. So those are all the classes from the Bootstrap, and in this video I'm not going to talk too much about those. I will have another tutorial that goes deeply about Bootstrap design. And in this table I will set table head. So let's say in the head we will have one row. First column will be ID, the next column will be, let's say, name, or maybe better country name, and in the next one it will be options. And inside this option column we will add edit, view and delete for each row. So that's it. Let's make a test. So let's move this table a little bit down. Okay. So this is pretty much looking good. So now, once we have the basic design for this tutorial, I'm going to create a new database inside my PHPMyAdmin. So I'll say here MySQL Data Manager. I'll set to UTF-8, Unicode C, create. And I will set table, let's say country. So first column will be ID integer, auto increment, and that's it. The next one will be country name. I will set it to the varchar 20, for example. The next one will be short description about this country. I will set to the text, and the next one will be long description about country. So I'll set to the long text. And let's save this. So that's it. Okay. So now our goal with this project is that when someone click on the add new button, or later we will have edit, view and delete, we will display a small modal pop-up, and there the user will be able to manipulate the data. So first we need to design that modal pop-up. So I will say here div, I will set ID to the table manager, and I will set class to the model fade, and that should be fine. The next one, we are going to write actually the body. So this is just, I set this so I can display it later from the jQuery. So here I will say model dialog, and here we need to set modal header. We will set model body, and let's say we will have model footer, and that's it. So let's, in this model, put some title. Later we are going to manipulate, but for now let's say it will be h2, and let's say class will be model title, and here we will say country name. In the model footer we will just have one button that is going to save all the informations. So I'll say like this, class btn success, and that should be fine. And inside the body we need to display some information. So I will set, we will have one input, type will be text, we will set class to the form dialog, and let's say placeholder will be country name, and we also need some ID for this, so I'll set country name. Okay, break. Here I will since in the table we also have short description and long description, so I will put it as two text areas. So I can say again, form dialog, ID short description, placeholder short country description, and that's it. And at the end, I'll put break, and I'll just duplicate this and change it to the long description. Alright, so let's see what we have right now. Refresh, and as you can see, this model is hidden, it's not visible on the page, but for the button add new, let's put on click method, and we will say add new. We will call that function, and here we will say script type text JavaScript, and I love to set this document dot ready function, and instead of making on click, I will just change this to the ID add new, and inside this jQuery function we will wait for complete document load, and after that we will set on click event on this add new button. So I'll say here add new dot on click function, and here I will just say table manager dot model show, and let's now test this functionality. So add new, and as you can see, now we have some design, but obviously I have made somewhere small mistake. So let's see what is wrong. So here I have forgot to put this here, class model content, and I'm going to move this under footer, okay, like this. So let's make a test again, add new, and now it is looking really good. We have country name, we will manipulate this with the jQuery, and here we have some options, and we have button save, which doesn't work at the moment. So let's try to improve this. I have made small mistake here. I said dialog, but it needs to be control. So let's make a test, refresh, add new, and now this is looking much nicer. Okay, so now let's make functionality for this save button. So when someone press this save button, let's say we are going to call the function save, and now here, or maybe it's better to name this function as manage data, and let's write this function manage data, and let's say that this function will receive one parameter so that we know what we are going to do. So I'll say like key, and by that, inside Ajax file that we are going to create, we will know what is the Ajax code that we are making at the moment, and here that key will be add new. So we are going to make an A first. Let's check, do we have any information inside those three. So make like this, and here I will first say var name equal country name, and here let's say short description, and let's make long description. And now let's test. If name.all equal empty, which means if there isn't any name for this country, then we are going to select this and we are not going to make an Ajax call. So just say name.css and we'll say border is 1 pixel solid red, and we will say return, which means we will stop executing this call. So let's try add new, save, and as you can see now it is green. Okay, and the same thing we are going to do for the other two. So we can say here else if short description, okay, and here we are going to same for the long description. Okay, and else if everything is okay, we will just say name.css border is empty, and we are going to do the same for short description and to the long description. Okay, or maybe we should move this to the function. Let's leave it as is at the moment, just make a test. So save country, and there is a mistake. If we write something here, click save, it selects again, but the problem is, as you can see now, this input is selected too, which means we should improve this. So we can say maybe like this, okay, and same thing with those two. Maybe even if we write the function for this, it will be even better. So maybe the function will be very simple. We will say check data, and he will say caller, and we will just do this, okay, this is the best way to make it happen. And here we will just say like this, caller, and let's see what I want to achieve here. So we will just check maybe if is not empty. So if is not empty name and is not empty short description and is not empty long description, we are going to do this. Let's say alert here. So let's make a test. Add new, save, okay. So now it works just fine. Save, it says here, and as you can see, all red borders has been removed. So this is just the best way to optimize this code and make it a lot nicer and easier to read. So we have one function that is checking for the empty inputs. If it's empty, we will set the border to the red, and if it's not, we will remove the border and return true. Okay, so if it's not empty, we are going to make an Ajax call to the server. So our URL will be, let's say we are going to create new ajax.php file. We will set method to the post. Data type will be text, and data will be just the key, this key. It will be the name, which is name.k, short description, k, and long description. And of course we need to have some success function, response from the server. So once we receive the response from the server, this part of the code here will execute. So let's now just await response, just to see what will happen. And now let's create an Ajax file and write the PHP code. So I will say new PHP file Ajax, and here I will say let's improve, say if isset post key, which means if there is this key, we are going to check if, since we are going to have multiple keys, at the moment we are just making the one for adding new. So if post key equal add new, we will execute this part of the code. And first we need to make connection to our database. So we'll say connection equal new MySQL, and here we will say localhost. My username is root. My password at the moment is an empty, I don't have one, but if you do have, just make it here. And our database name is, let's just make sure it's correct, is MySQL Data Manager, like this. Okay, so now let's first escape all the things that we are getting from the jQuery. So name equal connection, and I will use real escape string post name. The same thing for the short description, so like this, and the same thing for the long description. This is just to protect ourselves. And now let's first check, do we have any data with the same name in the database. So I'll say here SQL equal connection query select, let's say ID from country where country name equal name, and let's make sure we have the column name correct. Yes, it's country name. So here if SQL number of rows bigger than 0, we will say here, we will return to the jQuery country with this name already exists. Else we are going to insert, so we will say SQL query insert country values. So here we will say country name, short description and long description, and for the values we will say country name, short description, let me move this here, and of course long description. Exit country has been inserted. So now let's make a test. We have written a lot of the code, so I hope so we didn't make any mistake. So refresh, add new, and here we will say, for example, Austria, short description, long description. Save, and let's see what does it say. So query let's try again. So the problem is on the line 15. Okay. Connection query, select ID from country, where country name equal name, okay, and here so I have say here SQL, but it actually needs to be the connection. Let's try again. Austria, short desk, long description, save, and there is problem again. So I'm using here country name, but it needs to be the name. Try again, and finally country has been inserted. Okay, so now if we go to our database, now we can see that we have multiple, but the first time we had a problem that this variable didn't exist, so we can delete this data. Try again. And that's it. Everything is looking good. Okay, so now let's make the final functionality for this part of this project, which is to list all the data inside this table. So what we are going to do, we can write the PHP code directly here. We need table body. We can write the code directly here, but since we are already working with jQuery and other things, I will show you how to do a recursive way to get all the data from the table. So what I will do here is I will declare a new function. So I will say function get existing data, and this function will receive 3 parameters. First one will be start, and the next one will be limit. I will just use 2, we don't need 3. Okay, and here I will check. It's okay, let's make 2 parameters, and I will say here we are going to make Ajax call again, so maybe let's just, or let's write it, it's not okay, like this. So this part here is the same, so I'll say like this, and here this part is same too. Okay, so the data that we will send to the server, the key will be get existing data. We will have start and limit. Okay, so, and here all the response from the server we will just append to the table body, but first we will check if response equal reached max, better like this. We will to the table body append all the data from the response. After that we will just increase our start for the limit size, and we are going to call the get existing data function again. So while we have the tables in the row, we will just keep doing this. And for those of you that are having problem with this to understand what I'm doing here, I have just another tutorial where I will show you how to get dynamically all the data from the table. So make sure to watch that video to better understand this concept. So, and I will here pass the same parameters. And now inside this Ajax, let's write this functionality. So here I will move this part down here, and here I will say if key equal get existing data. We will need this. So I'll say here start here limit. Okay, and now we are going to check do we have any rows. So I'll say SQL equal connection query select ID country name from country limit start limit. And now we will say again if SQL number of rows bigger than 0, we will get that data, else we will say exit reached max, which will give to the jQuery information that there isn't any more data inside this MySQL table, and for that reason we are not going to make another Ajax calls. And if there is, we will just get all the data. So I'll use while and say data equal SQL fetch array, and here I will just concatenate all the data together. So I'll say here we are going to have table row. Okay, and inside this row I'm going to have one column. So I'll say here like this. So the first one is, let's check our design. So So first one is ID, the second one is country name. So first I will append ID, after that country name, and after that we will append the buttons for which we are going to later make the functionality, which is edit, view and delete. So let's write those. So button, let's do it like this so it's easier to read the code for you guys. Value edit, class button, button primary. So the next one is delete. I will set button to danger, and we will have the one view, let's say it will be just button. So let's see, will this work? Probably not, because we didn't call this function. So let's do it here. Get existing data, and let's say we are starting from the 0, and let's say we are getting 10 countries per Ajax code. You can make it bigger, whatever you like. It all depends on the table data. So now let's make, there is small mistake inside Ajax, because here I didn't return the response. Okay, refresh, and as you can see now we have ID, it's 3, we have country name, it's Austria, and also we have some options here. Okay, so at the moment those buttons doesn't work, but in the next parts we are going to make this functionality. So guys, I hope so that this tutorial is extremely simple and useful for you, and I will suggest to you to watch the part 2 and 3 where we will finish this small project. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Take care.